Finally guys, we have a most exciting phone of the 2024, and this one is the latest iQOO 12, India's first smartphone with the 8 Gen 3. Now this is not the first phone launched with the 8 Gen 3 because Xiaomi 14 Pro is already launched, but India, this one is going to be the first one, and following this many phones are going to come on the next year, like the S24 series. Could be like this time they are bringing you Exynos. We are not really sure. OnePlus 12 of course is coming. Xiaomi 14 Pro is of course coming. There is a One Vivo phone also coming. So there is so many phones. But let's focus on the iQOO 12 Pro. It's been 4 to 5 days I'm using this phone. Going to tell you on the first impression, and already I have done so many comparisons. They are ongoing. It takes a bit of time, like comparing with the older one. And how about the really pro camera comparison, like with the 15 Pro Max and the S23 Ultra? Stay tuned for all those videos. First, let me show you what's inside the box, because you're going to be a bit disappointed. And yeah, of course, the box is slightly slimmer than the last ones. The only good part you're going to get in the phone, in the box, is the 120-watt fast charger. There is no case, of course, but eventually which is going to turn yellow. So get ready to buy an extra case. On the first impression, when I saw this phone, it felt me like it's a premium phone, because I was using the iQOO 11. It's like it's a good looking phone. It has a different stripe, the BMW things looks nice, but man, this one is really cool. And it has a stainless steel frame, the glass back panel. Of course, there are two different colors, black and the vegan leather also, but this one looks slightly different, slightly good. The camera module is like not the usual. Nowadays you're going to see a big camera bump. Maybe it is OnePlus, maybe it is Vivo X100 series, and maybe this is iQOO. Everyone is trying to give you just so many big camera bumps, but there's a catch. If you just carefully look the camera, I guess if you're holding a coin, you can see there are a lot of fine rough edges. So camera bump exactly has the same thing. But the part I don't like is that since they have only 3 lenses, there's a big space being wasted on the fourth camera. There's no 4th camera, it's just written 100x. By the way, it can do 100x zoom, but there's a catch. Stay tuned for that. And on the downside, there is no headphone jack, just like on the iQOO 11. So yeah, it's a Ford design for the gaming thing, but of course there is no headphone jack. Welcome. Dual 5G, of course, no SD card. Another design sort of cons, I will say, is the placement of the fingerprint sensor. Like, it's very fast, there's no issues in that, but the placement is again just like on the budget phones. On the bottom of the phone, it should have to be slightly on the this side, like you get on the Samsung flagship phones on the number series. So this is again a minor cons. Phone is not very heavy, but yeah, it feels thick because the metal and the glass is thick. Back panel is slightly curved, but the front is completely flat. On the first impression, this display is just so beautiful. There are 2 variants, the normal and the Pro one. If you go on the Pro, you're going to get the 2K resolution, but this one supports the 1.5K. On the specs, is going to give you everything best possible. Of course, the HDR10 Plus are the old things. Not going to show you much about those things. The bezels of these phones are really very less. It's completely equally symmetrical bezel from the all side, completely flat phone, zero curve at all, feels good. Okay, on the other things, this phone does supports up to 144 Hz refresh rate, and this phone also is based on the LTPO technology. That means it can go as low as 1 Hz and up to 144 Hz, depends on the app usage. Okay, let me tell you. And since you have options to use at adaptive refresh rate, what I have seen, it goes to 1, like on the static display, like the phone is just left like that. You can see this is 1 Hz. Okay, and 5, 10, 20, 32, 40, 72, 60, 30, 90. These are the numbers I am seeing randomly on different applications. Like, I know it just keeps on changing. So there is I think good way of implementing the refresh rate. The only application in my usage I found goes up to 144 Hz is actually the Antutu benchmark. Other than that, most of the applications, they just works on randomly. But yeah, it has a good implementation. The battery is really good due to this. Another fun fact about this display is that it supports by default up to 1400 HBM higher brightness mode. Like this time it is completely full brighten display, but it can go up to 3000 nits of brightness. But point is, does it make any difference? For a reference, I compared with the iQOO 11 on the complete outdoor. Yeah, if you compare it side by side, of course you can notice there is a bit of improvement, but I don't see much improvements. So not sure who's going to use 3000 nits. Eventually, it's going to be much brighter. But yeah, you have this appreciate. The phone is really good in terms of display, and you're going to love it if you're watching media and if you're going to play games. Speaking about the games, let's talk about the performance first. We are going to come later on the camera. This is India's first phone with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. As of now, there is no phone. You can compare some of the benchmarks, like how is the benchmark going on compared to the previous generation, compared to the iPhones, compared to some of the Dimensity rivals like the 9000. You get the idea. It is as of now the fastest phone, fastest benchmarking. The cool part is that you have all the latest UFS 3 storage, and there's a really big virtual cooling chamber. So this phone is completely cool. I did a really long gaming testing on this phone, completely straight 1 hour gaming test. Like once I did a charging test, half an hour, the phone was slightly hot around 30 degree, 28 degree. Then I played, we played half an hour BGMI on the maximum graphic setting possible, and there is zero lag at all. But yeah, we played using the TWS, there was no headphone jack, so that's why there was a bit of issue. So that's why I initially mentioned it's gaming phone, there's no headphone jack. Okay, and after that I tried to play the Genshin Impact. It again worked really well, and it's very confusing game, guys. It's really tough, but yeah, it works well. It works really very fine. There is no issues in terms of gaming. So yeah, if you're looking for a phone which is seriously very good for the gaming, this is going to be the best phone for you. Casual performance, I don't need to tell you, it works really fast. Now let's go ahead and talk about the camera. This is the first phone with the camera setup 50 plus 64 plus 50. You've already seen Xiaomi phones with the triple camera 50 setup, but they're first time given you 64 MP telescope lens. Not the first time. Oppo phones already have 64 MP telephoto, but combining with all the higher megapixel setup. Let's talk about the quality of the main camera sensor. As you know, Vivo and iQOO phones camera quality, they try to give you photos which you can really just take and post on the Instagram and everywhere. Photos are punchy, some saturated, mostly in the flowers and other things. Human subjects comes good. Sharpness is also very good. If you take outdoor, indoor, colors are properly maintained, HDR is properly maintained, dynamic range is properly maintained. Everything is just good because the sensor is really nice. CPU is fast, GPU is very good. All things, camera processor is very fast. So there is no problem so far. Okay, and the secondary lens is the ultra wide lens, the 50 MP. It again takes good, but I think this is not the best ultra wide lens we have seen. I can see a bit of shadows is not properly maintained on the ultra wide. So I took some random shots, maybe with some software updates. This is going to be fixed in the future, but no as of now. Okay, and also what I noticed, this ultra wide lens cannot take the macro. It depends on the telephoto, which brings us to the third lens, the 64 MP, which is going to be used for the two purpose, of course, for the taking portrait. Portrait shot is again very good in this phone. It takes very nice, gives you very nice blur. By default, it's disabled. You just have to make sure you select the proper blur level. On this zooming capability, yes, it can go up to 100x. There is a 3x optical zoom, so yeah, you're not going to see much difference at all in terms of quality. And even up to 5x, 10x on the good lighting edition, there is no noise at all. Shots are perfectly well balanced, and it can go up to the 20x, 30x. I mean, you can just do, and up to 100x, you can see good quality. But this is not the best 100x zoom we have already seen. I'm going to show you soon. The Samsung is doing much better in this area, but yes, you can get very good details with the 100x also. Speaking about the low light, I can see the low light is not very good in this phone. I mean, yeah, it takes night photo, but I found some issues like it's not able to do proper focus on the subject. In the low light, it takes some 7 to 8 seconds to turn on the night mode, and photos are kind of okay, not very impressed with the low light. One issue I found, especially when I try to take some normal photos, it just creates unnecessary blur on the other subjects also. Speaking about the macro, this phone, when you just enable the macro mode with this phone, and it just switches to the telephoto lens, it just do the 3x optical zoom and it goes to the very close. Yes, macros are also coming very good. Close-up photography you can do very good in this phone. Speaking about the video capabilities, yeah, I've made a lot of videos with this phone, and it's a flagship one. It supports everything latest up to 8K 30 FPS non-stop, and it makes very nice video. I found like videos are a bit of contrast is slightly more what I would say, because I feel some darkness in the video. Maybe like it's a foggy weather right now, that could be the reason. I will show you in the future, then you can get to know more idea. And OIS is good, not the best what I have seen. And yes, of course you can fill up to 4K 60 FPS video, 4K 30 FPS, they all are pretty much stabilized. So video quality again is good, not the very best which I have seen on other flagship phones from the other brand. Speaking about the front camera guys, it is just kind of pathetic for the price. Let me turn on something. Okay, the vocal enhancement has been on. You can just fill full HD video with this front camera, just 1080p 30 fps, not even the 60. And colors again just slightly punchy, boosted. You can see the shirt is more brighter. Selfie is good, it takes nice photo, but I was expecting a little bit more on the flagship one, because iQOO phones generally on the budget one, they try to give you 4K 60 and 32 MPs very easily on the 25 to 30,000 price segment. That's with the front camera. So overall, it's a good camera phone, not the best camera phone. Let's talk about the other things. This phone by default comes with the Android 14 out of the box, and also iQOO India CEO has clearly stated that the iQOO 12 is going to get 3 major versions of Android update, followed by 1 additional security update. So yeah, it's a really powerful phone. You can easily use this phone by 3 to 4 years. So no problem with the software update. And the biggest update, there is no hot apps and games in this phone finally. So you're gonna see very less bloated notification. But eventually this is a very customized one. If you use Fun Touch, you know all the goodies about this phone. I'm not gonna tell you everything about it. Let's talk about the battery. You get the 120 watt as usual, just like the last year. I was expecting a little bit of the faster charging, maybe 160 watt, because this is really crazy powerful phone. And if you got the 160 watt, that makes it one of the fastest charging phone also on this price segment. Anyways, the backup is really good. I easily got around 1 to 2 days battery backup with this phone, easily on very heavy usage. And about the charging numbers guys, when I charge this phone, it just works in the same way like other fast charger works. Initially for the 10 to 11 minutes, it charges really fast. Like in 10 minutes, I got around 40 to 40% around battery. So yeah, it tops really quickly, but as you go on, it takes a bit of time. In our testing, it took around 20 to 29 minutes from 1 to 100%. So not really fastest charging phone, but yeah, you do have good one. Alright, like the demo showed, you already seen, there are 3 speakers at least in the here, one at the bottom, one on the earpiece, and also there is additional on the top one. They are very loud. I mean, they're kind of loudest on this price segment, but certainly they are not the giving you premium experience. Like especially vocals are not clear, and it's kind of muffled sometimes when you just play on the full volume. I enjoyed better sound quality even on the other phones. Even the Redmi series on the 30,000, like the Note 13 Pro Plus, it gives you a better sounding experience. Than not the loudest like that, but yeah, they are okay. So in the summary, yeah, this is going to be one of the best phone to consider if you really want a phone for the long time usage, really want crazy high performance on the 50 to 60k price segment. This is going to give you tough competition with the OnePlus 12 and the Xiaomi 14 Pro, and of course any other phones which is going to come with the 8 Gen 3, maybe of course from the Realme, not from the all the brands. And yeah, still I have to find so many things, but I really like the iQOO 12 Pro. Some things has to be fixed, like the speaker, the low light capability, and especially the selfie camera. That would make it one of the best phone of the 2024, but not as of now. Thank you so much guys, hope you enjoyed this video. See you very soon.